Welcome to Wise Words of Motivation channel under the title. If you're struggling to find happiness in life, watch this. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Remember that everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." How often do we think that happiness comes from something external? We strive to obtain things, status, and fame, but once we achieve them, we find that the feeling of emptiness remains. Why? Because we're trying to fill an internal void with external things. But what if the real solution lies within? What if the path to peace, joy, and independence begins from within ourselves, from the core of our soul, rather than from the outside world? In this video, we will dive deep into the philosophy of Stoicism and reveal the secret of emotional detachment, the ability to transcend destructive emotions to live a life of inner peace and true strength. This isn't just a philosophical concept but a practical approach that can transform your life. Stay with us until the end because we will show how applying Stoic principles can free you from the grip of negative emotions and strengthen your inner power. If you find this video inspiring or helpful, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section. We love hearing from you and engaging with you. Now, let's begin discovering how to control your emotions and free yourself from their chains. Chapter 1: Self-Reliance in Relationships. In a world where value seems to come from others, from their love, approval, or acknowledgement, we need to stop and ask, is this really what we want? To be merely a reflection of others' desires and thoughts? This is where Stoicism shines like a light in the dark, urging us to rethink the foundations of our relationships. Stoicism teaches us that love, respect, and esteem must begin within. We must be in alignment with ourselves before we ask the world to stand by our side. But how do we achieve this? How do we become ready for relationships built on mutual respect and not emotional dependence? Imagine a person who relies on others to validate their identity. They feel weak and lonely in the absence of others. Such a person is always at the mercy of external circumstances. If they are loved, they are happy; if they are not, they collapse. Stoicism says, do not seek to be loved by others, but be worthy of love. This is the first key. Being loved is not something we demand from others but something we build within ourselves. A self-reliant person finds strength within that does not depend on the fluctuating whims of others. This person finds within themselves a source of calm, stability, and unconditional love. They do not seek security in others but find it deep within themselves. This is not something that comes easily. It requires conscious practice, continuous training in understanding our emotions without becoming enslaved by them. When we begin to rely on ourselves, we find ourselves in a completely different place. Our relationships start to transform. We no longer cling to others out of need but out of a genuine desire to be with them. We start forming meaningful relationships based on mutual respect, not on constant need. Have you ever felt that there's an emptiness inside that no one else can fill? Perhaps you've realized that your attempts to find fulfillment from the outside were futile in the end. Stoicism invites us to seek inner sufficiency, to learn how to be our own best friend, and to find happiness, contentment, and acceptance within ourselves before we try to find them in others. Think about it, a person who finds comfort and happiness in themselves is a person who is difficult to defeat. They are not easily shaken by others' opinions or the ups and downs of relationships. They are strong, and they are free. Imagine the strength of standing firm in the face of the world, not with arrogance or pride but with deep inner peace. That's the beauty of Stoicism. The deeper your relationship with yourself, the more capable you become of forming meaningful relationships with others, not because you need them but because you genuinely want to share life with them. And that desire comes from a place of strength, not from a place of weakness. So, if you want to become truly independent in your relationships, start looking within. Learn to love and appreciate yourself, to be self-sufficient, and to see others as partners in your journey, not as a solution to an internal void. Only then will your relationships become deeper, more honest, and you will become freer and more at peace. This is the path Stoicism invites you to take, a path that begins within, where all the true answers lie. Chapter 2, The Power of Mystery. Mystery isn't just a vague or intriguing trait, it's one of the hidden weapons of the strong. In a world flooded with information and absolute transparency, we believe that our strength lies in revealing all our cards, in being entirely understood and clear to others like an open book. Open, yet Stoicism teaches us. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in keeping a part of ourselves hidden, seen only by us. To be like the deep sea, calm on the surface while holding its secrets in the depths. What makes mystery powerful? Mystery gives you strength because it makes you immune to the interventions of others, to their curiosity and judgments. When people don't know everything about you, they maintain their respect for you. They keep a bit of hesitation when interpreting your actions. A part of you remains out of their reach, and that gives you control. When we reveal everything, we become vulnerable to external influences, to quick judgments, and unconsidered opinions. But when we learn to leave space for mystery, we also learn to protect ourselves from the interference of others. We become free from the constraints of societal expectations and preconceived judgments. Mystery is our hidden weapon because it leaves room for possibilities and makes others realize that they cannot control us or predict our actions. Do you remember the myth of the Greek heroes, how they appeared strong and mysterious, revealing only what they wanted and keeping a part of themselves away from the world? That is the power of mystery. It is not weakness or fear of exposure, but an expression of true strength, of control over yourself, and the confidence that you do not need to justify every action or explain every thought. The moment you start practicing the power of mystery, you will feel a change in the way you interact with the world. You will begin to free yourself from the excessive need to explain, from the desire to be fully understood. You will realize that part of your attraction and strength lies in what others do not know about you, in what remains unseen in that mysterious space you build for yourself. Keep something of yourself out of sight. Let the world remain in a state of wonder. Let them question your motives and thoughts. Use mystery as a positive force that allows you to protect yourself, and be the sole master of your secrets. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, there is wisdom in not laying all your cards on the table, in keeping a part of yourself away from curious eyes. Learn to be mysterious, to keep your secret, for in that secret lies your true strength, and there begins your freedom. Mystery is more than just an action, it is a life strategy. It is not withdrawal from the world, but a conscious choice to be the owner of yourself, to keep a part of you out of the reach of others. Harness the power of mystery to be unpredictable, incomprehensible, and untamable. Stay with us to learn how you can adopt this strategy in your daily life and how you can start practicing mystery in ways that will make you more influential, more in control, and freer. Chapter 3, Balancing Communication. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, how often are we the ones who speak impulsively, who fill the silence with words just because we fear the quiet? How often do we share our opinions without thinking, drowning in aimless conversations, as if we fear being invisible if we are not constantly heard? Stoicism teaches us to be precise, to be as mindful of our words as we are of our actions, to understand that every word is like an arrow that can either hit the target or miss, leaving a wound that doesn't heal. In a world full of noise and chatter, wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Wisdom is realizing that words are not just a tool for conveying ideas, but a force that has real impact on our lives and the lives of others. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Nature gave you 2 ears and 1 tongue to listen more than you speak." Here, we understand that communication is not just about projecting our ideas and opinions onto others, but a deep process of understanding, sincere listening, and building real bridges between minds and hearts. Stoicism teaches us that silence is not a lack of courage, but sometimes the greatest form of courage. When we stop talking just to fill the void, we become able to hear the world around us, to become more aware and more appreciative of the moments of silence, which may contain within them the deepest meanings. And when we do speak, we should speak truthfully. Truth is not just about telling the facts, but about ensuring that your words align with your actions, that they come from your heart and carry a genuine intent for good. Marcus Aurelius said, "Your words must come from within you, but not all of them, keep some for yourself." These words remind us that wisdom lies in knowing when to reveal our thoughts and when to keep them to ourselves. If balancing communication means anything in Stoicism, it means that we control our words, rather than letting our words control us. We choose carefully what we say, how we say it, and why we say it. In today's world, we find ourselves surrounded by words, text messages, conversations, social media posts. We are constantly urged to say more, to reveal more, to discuss and argue, to always remain present. But Stoicism teaches that wisdom lies in the few, in deliberate silence, in interactions that carry weight and meaning. Because Stoicism teaches us that deep truth does not need many words to be understood. Now, stop and think, when was the last time you really listened to someone? When was the last time you experienced silence without feeling the need to fill it? This is the challenge Stoicism presents to you today, to learn that balancing communication is not about the quantity of what we say, but about the quality of what we say. To know when to speak, when to listen, and when to stay silent. To understand that silence is not emptiness, but a space for contemplation, reflection, and the search for wisdom in the depths of the soul. So, are you ready to be wise in your words, strong in your silence, and to discover the power of communication? Chapter 4: Cultivating Respect and Dignity. In a world where people chase achievements and status, we sometimes forget something more valuable than all of these things, our self-respect. Dignity is not something given to us by others, it is something we build within ourselves, something we live in every moment and show in every action. Stoicism teaches us that dignity does not come from the outside or from the opinions of others about us. It is planted in our hearts and minds and stems from a deep conviction in our ability to be true to ourselves, to live according to our values without hesitation or surrender. Imagine how many times we've resorted to small compromises that may seem insignificant and harmless in the moment, but accumulate over time, stripping away our true identity. How many times have we allowed others to touch our souls just to please them or gain the acceptance we think we need? But Stoicism teaches us another lesson: when we let others determine our value, we lose something priceless, we lose ourselves. Dignity, as Epictetus said, is not just an empty word, it is a daily action, a decision we make in every situation, every challenge, every conversation. To maintain our dignity means to say no when we need to stand up for our values even when the path is difficult, and to accept the world as it is without giving up what we believe in. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius gives us profound guidance when he says, "Do nothing with the intention of pleasing others, only do what your dignity dictates." Dignity comes from listening to that inner voice, from living by what we believe, from being honest with ourselves in every moment, whether we are under the gaze of others or alone in the quiet of the night. Remember this: there is nothing more powerful than a person who knows their worth, and nothing more dangerous to society than a person who maintains their dignity even in the darkest circumstances. When we uphold our dignity, we find that the world begins to respect us in the way we deserve. Do you want to know how to start cultivating this respect and dignity in your life? Stay with us, because in the coming chapters, we will discover practical tools and strategies to apply Stoicism in your daily life. We will help you become the person you respect first, before the world esteems you. Chapter 5: Valuing Your Time. In a world filled with noise and chaos, in an era where hours fly by and tasks accumulate, we ask ourselves, what is time? Is it just ticking hands moving without purpose, or is it something much more? To the Stoic, time is the most precious thing we possess, it is the currency that cannot be regained. The philosopher Seneca said, "We do not have a short life, but we are the ones who make it short." Imagine if you had a piece of gold, would you throw it into the street without thinking? Of course not, because you know its value. But how many times have we wasted entire days, months, or even years on things of no value, on worrying about the future or regretting the past? Stoicism teaches us to value every moment, to live it as if it were the last. Why is valuing time important? Because time is life itself. Every minute that passes is a part of your life that will never return. If you live your day as if it's a burden to be rid of, you are squandering life itself. Stoicism tells us, do not waste your time on things that do not truly matter. Don't let others steal your time without your awareness. Make every moment of your life meaningful, because those moments are what create the whole. Insight into effective use of time. Imagine this, you have a box of moments. Each moment represents an opportunity to achieve something, an opportunity to learn, to grow, to laugh, to love, to form friendships, to have adventures. Every moment is an opportunity to become the person you want to be. When you realize the value of each moment, you start using your time wisely. You start living consciously. Sometimes it's as simple as asking yourself, is what I am doing now bringing me peace? Is it bringing me closer to what I truly want? Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who ruled one of the greatest empires in the world, believed that life is too short to waste on trivial matters. He did not have time to correct small mistakes or worry about what he could not change. He focused on the present moment, on using every day as an opportunity to become the best version of himself. Eliminating wasted time. To value time, I must learn how to eliminate wasted time. Observe your day. How much time do you spend on things that add nothing to your life? How much time do you waste worrying about the future or regretting the past? These are not just lost times, they are missed opportunities for growth, progress, and creativity. Stoicism teaches us to be strict with ourselves in how we use our time. It's not just a matter of time management, but understanding that every moment is part of the path of our lives. We are here to live, to create memories, to achieve goals, to find meaning. How to begin valuing time? Start by setting your priorities. Ask yourself, what are the things that truly matter to me? What are the things that deserve my time? Be honest with yourself. Let go of everything that doesn't serve your goals, everything that doesn't bring you inner peace. Remember, valuing time also means enjoying the simple moments. When you drink your morning coffee, live that moment fully. When you are with your loved ones, be present. Don't let a single moment slip away without using it wisely. You must understand, my friend, we live in a time that makes it easy to lose our time, to scatter our thoughts, to forget ourselves in the hustle of life. But when you follow the Stoic path, when you learn to truly value your time, you will find that your life begins to transform. You will become clearer, calmer, and more fulfilled. Make Todd. Why do we believe that happiness comes from the outside? From success at work, a bigger house, or perfect romantic relationships, we often think happiness stems from external circumstances. But here, Stoicism plays a deep role. It holds up a mirror, showing us that true joy does not come from external circumstances, but from within, from our heart and soul. Let's dive deeper. Happiness that relies on external circumstances, whether material possessions or worldly successes, is fragile and fades with the first gust of obstacles or when these things lose their value over time. In contrast, Stoicism calls for a different kind of joy, one that is not affected by the outside world. It is the joy that comes from within, from the deep knowledge that we have the power to control our thoughts and feelings and that we can find happiness even in the most difficult circumstances. Reflect on the words of Marcus Aurelius, the secret to happiness is the ability to enjoy your daily life, regardless of what happens. This is not an invitation to withdraw from life or ignore pain, but a challenge for us to find joy in the small moments we experience every day, even in the things we consider simple and ordinary. This joy is of a different kind. It is the joy that does not depend on anything or anyone but is based on your deep understanding of yourself and the world around you. Stoicism invites you to live your life as if you are building a palace from within, a palace that is not affected by storms nor shaken by the earthquakes of circumstances. We build it from values, conviction, and a deep love for the present moment. The moment we are living now, whether filled with success or pain, is a gift that we must appreciate because it is the only reality we possess. Think about this: every day, every moment offers us an opportunity to practice this philosophy. We may feel sadness, anger, or pain, but in that very moment, we have a choice. We can choose to be slaves to these feelings, or we can choose to view them from a different perspective, to consider them as part of our journey, part of our human experience. Inner joy is not just an emotional state, it is a decision, it is an action. Finding joy in the present moment, in the smallest details, like the taste of morning coffee or a cool breeze on a hot day, is to exercise the power of your will and your appreciation for life in all its aspects. This is the secret that opens the doors to unwavering happiness, even in the face of life's fluctuations. Stoicism tells us, live your day as if everything is a gift and as if everything is worthy of gratitude. We are invited to live our lives like a Stoic hero, not by ignoring or suppressing our emotions, but by recognizing them and living fully despite them. Think about this moment. You have the power to find joy within. All you need is to choose to see life from a different angle, to see beauty in the ordinary and joy in the simple. These are not just words, they are an invitation for you to start your journey now. Chapter 7: Being a Person of Value. What is the value of your life? A question that may seem simple but carries within it a depth that almost never ends. Many of us wonder what it means to be a person of value. Are we measured by our status, wealth, social network, job, or how much we own or achieve? But Stoic philosophy breaks these superficial concepts and tells us, a person's value is not measured by what they possess but by who they are. In a world full of noise and temptations, to be a person of value means to truly know who you are, to know yourself with all its flaws and strengths and to act based on that inner knowledge. Being a person of value means being able to stand firm in the face of storms without allowing the winds to take you wherever they please. It is being the one who chooses, not the one who is chosen for. But how do we reach that point? How do we become people of value in our own eyes before the eyes of others? First, taking responsibility. The first step is taking full responsibility for your life. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "Freedom is the ability to direct yourself according to your reason, not according to the whims of others." This means that you alone have the decision-making power regarding your life. Do not complain or blame circumstances or people, but take responsibility for your choices and actions. Be the captain of your ship. Second, know your values and be loyal to them. What are the principles you believe in? What inspires you? Your value comes from sticking to those values, even in times of challenge. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor and a Stoic philosopher, and despite all the power in his hands, he sought to live according to his values. Be strict with yourself, forgiving with others. To be a person of value means to follow the principle of integrity, not allowing yourself to deviate from your path just because the road seems easier or more tempting. Third, continuous self-development. True value does not come from stopping at a certain point and settling there, but from continuous growth. Stoicism urges us to learn and grow every day, not to meet the standards of others but to meet your inner standard. Ask yourself every day, am I better than I was yesterday? If the answer is yes, you are on the right path to becoming a person of value. Fourth, giving without expecting in return. One of the most powerful ways to define a person's value is through what they give to others without expecting anything in return. Stoicism believes that a noble person is one who gives without waiting for anything. As Seneca said, it's not important how much you have, but how you use what you have. Use your abilities and time to serve a higher purpose and to leave a positive impact on the lives of others because pure giving is what gives your life meaning and value. Fifth, resisting attachment to materialism. In our modern world, we often measure success by what we own. However, Stoicism invites us to focus on who we are, not what we have. Be the person who intentionally frees themselves from attachment to material things, knowing that your value is not confined to the things you possess, but in what you strive to achieve. As Marcus Aurelius said, the independent mind, retaining self-control, is the true fortress of man. Sixth, be honest with yourself. In the end, being a person of value requires absolute honesty with yourself. Be bold in confronting your flaws, in acknowledging what you don't know, and in taking responsibility for your mistakes. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus says, the beginning is to be honest with yourself, and then you will be free from the opinions of others. To be of value means knowing who you are and being honest in expressing that every day. Ultimately, being a person of value is not about proving anything to anyone else but knowing who you are and being true to that every day. Being a person of value is to be on a constant journey of self-improvement, learning from life, and benefiting from every experience. When you reach that point, your life itself becomes an inspiring lesson for others. Chapter 8: Prioritizing Your Needs. In a world filled with demands and expectations, we sometimes forget our inner voice and drown in a sea of voices that try to define who we are and what we need. How many times have you felt like you had to be something or do something just to please others? How many times have you sacrificed your needs on the altar of pleasing others, only to discover that it didn't bring you peace or happiness? Stoicism comes to say, enough. Enough of being a slave to the desires of others. Enough of forgetting who you are and what you need. Being a Stoic means reprioritizing, placing yourself and your needs first, not because you are selfish, but because you recognize that the path to happiness and tranquility begins from within. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus teaches us that things are not what upset us, but our thoughts about them. And when our thoughts are solely focused on pleasing others, we become prisoners of their desires and judgments. But when we decide to prioritize ourselves, we become free. We become the captain who steers the ship of life, not the winds that control its course. But how do we prioritize our needs? It starts with knowing yourself. Do you truly know what you need? What brings you true joy? What makes you feel strong, peaceful, and complete? Listen to your inner voice, the one you've ignored for so long, which has been silenced by the noise of the world. Ask yourself, what do I want? What do I need? Without the fear of seeming selfish, without the fear of others judging you. However, prioritizing your needs does not mean ignoring others or rejecting society. On the contrary, putting yourself first means being honest with yourself and others. It means being able to say no sincerely, instead of saying yes while groaning under the pressure. When you are honest about your needs, you begin to build genuine, deep relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Imagine living your life ignoring your needs, agreeing to everything asked of you, and immersing yourself in a life that does not reflect your truth. In the end, what will be the cost? You will find yourself exhausted, drained, and unsatisfied. But when you decide to give priority to your needs, you begin to see the world with a new clarity. You start feeling energized, strong, and capable of facing any challenge on your path. It's not simple, but it's worth the effort. You need to face your fears, confront doubts, and stand before yourself, deciding from now on that your needs will come first, because you know that this is the path to true freedom, to inner peace, and to the life you deserve to live. Remember, no one can live your life but you. No one can feel what you feel, dream what you dream. So, give yourself permission to be a priority. Give yourself permission to live the life you desire. This is Stoicism at its core, having the courage to live a life aligned with yourself, not with the expectations of others. Chapter 9: Emotional Detachment. Have you ever felt at the mercy of your emotions? Perhaps anger overwhelmed you in a moment, or fear gripped your heart, or sorrow consumed you until you couldn't breathe. If you felt this way, you're not alone. We are all human, and it's natural to experience these emotions. But Stoicism teaches us that if you don't control your emotions, they will control you. Emotional detachment doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. On the contrary, emotional detachment is the art of separating yourself from destructive emotions that cloud your vision of the truth. It is the ability to view the world clearly, without your perception being distorted by anger, fear, or sorrow. Epictetus says, "It's not what happens to you that disturbs you, but your opinion of it." Here lies the secret. We are not victims of what happens in our lives but victims of how we interpret what happens. Imagine you are watching the sky on a stormy day. You may see dark clouds and hear strong winds, but do you believe the sky itself is disturbed? Of course not. The sky remains vast and infinite, and these clouds are merely passing through. In the same way, emotions are like clouds in the sky of your mind. They are fleeting, but they are not part of your true nature. So, when you feel anger, fear, or anxiety, remember, you are the sky, not the clouds. Stoicism calls on you to stand firm like a mountain, unshaken by the winds, to be the master of your emotions, not a servant to them. But how can we achieve emotional detachment? Through practice, through reprogramming our thoughts and directing them toward the higher goal of inner peace. When faced with STR,